broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Start slow and start to mount.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We give a little time to sit in.
Come get some.
Come get some. Welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV, and of course, we're here for our show, our new show, Of Kings and Prophets.
Yes. Premiere week.
Yes, it was premiere week. I premiered the very first episode, and we'll get into that. I'm Chris Howard. You can reach me during this episode. Feel free to tweet out at us and or put some print underneath the video. Let us know what you're thinking. We want to engage you in the conversation. You are co-hosting with us, and you can reach me at Chris Howard Live or at legendarylivingdaily.com or legendarylivingtv.com for YouTube. And
I'm Chris's co-host here with McCall. My name is Katerina Cozias, and you can reach me on Twitter at Katerina Cozias. You can also check me out via my website. It's globalgab.com. That's global-gab.com, where we talk International Gab Fest.
Nice.
International Gab Fest.
Yeah.
Well,
you want to tune into that?
International Gab.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Chinese Gab, African Gab.
Absolutely.
What's up? It's your girl, McCall Hall. You can find me on social media at McCall Hall when sports and pop culture collide. Now check it out. I'm on chat duty tonight, so I've already got a couple of questions, and I'm making sure to check it. So if you guys have something to ask us, I'll make sure to check in here and there, and we'll bring it up during the show live and shout you out.
Shout you out, and so McCall Hall is like with 3 or 4 different O's.
4 O's in the so.
Yes.
So McCall.
Is there any metaphorical meaning to the 4 O's?
No, I like long names and things of that nature. I don't know. I was obsessed with the show That's So Raven back in the day.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So.
Blame Raven Simone.
Beautiful. Well, we want to welcome you once again. We're doing Of Kings and Prophets. We just watched the episode ourselves.
Yeah.
We're fresh.
We are fresh off of the episode, and you know when I booked on for this, when I signed on for this, I was looking for the biblical relevance and the metaphorical relevance to see, okay, what are you going to put out there? Is there something to be learned from this?
What do you think?
I'm curious what brought you to you guys, because we signed on to the show. We wanted to do the show. For me, it was like, is there something to be learned in the deep and rich metaphors from biblical reference? How about you guys?
You know what attracted me to the show was the fact that it seems to be one of those epics, like a Game of Thrones or a Vikings or Spartacus. So I like big epic tales, and I love anything to do with history. So this seemed right on, right down my alley.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, I love God, so I figured this might be a good show to hop on. The Lord kind of brought me to it. But no, seriously, I was driving down the street and I saw a really cool billboard. Like the advertisements and the creative work was just so engaging. Mm-hmm. So between God and advertising, I said, let me hop on.
Yeah, God and sex and violence. I mean, what more could you want, right?
And you know what I liked about the timing of this show is it's right around Easter time, right?
That's
so you
true.
get all the big Bible epics. I'm sure a little bit of that went into their thinking with the programming.
Yes,
and
yes.
I think I heard that this show was supposed to premiere in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
No kidding. I didn't know.
And so now it's premiering a little bit closer to Easter.
Right.
So I don't have the exact reason why they pushed it back, but my mind is assuming
Divine
it's probably
timing, right.
Could be a little bit of that,
for the
right?
divine connection.
Connection.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And we've read some other reviews out there. We've seen a lot of talk out there. Because for me, part of the suspense and the waiting for it was that was kind of exciting. I was really excited about the show, what it would have to offer. I've read a couple of reviews that didn't look so kindly upon it. We said that the ratings were
low. Ratings came in the lowest in its time slot, which I found interesting because I thought this would be a big attraction.
Yeah, I think I think it's going to build. It's like they had 3 million. You said viewers that watched. Yeah. And I think that it's going to build. I think the Lord is with this show. But it's interesting to me because it's got to find its target. And who is the target for this show? Is it the Bible thumper? We said, and I say that with reverence.
Right.
But is it the Bible thumper? Is it the person that's into Game of Thrones or the Shannara Chronicles and likes that medieval feel, or is it somebody else? Who do you think is the perfect viewer for this show?
Well, I think they were trying to leverage the popularity of the Game of Thrones and those medieval shows, right? But then there are people like me who have somewhat of a familiarity with the Bible.
Right.
And, we're not looking at these shows to be so graphic and have so many complexities. We're trying to really relate it to what we read in the Bible and,
Were you looking more for biblical content versus Hollywood drama?
Yeah, there's a lot of Hollywood drama with it. And, I just will admit, it was a challenge.
And there was a lot of drama in the Bible.
There was a lot of drama in the Bible. So, it was definitely a challenge for me. So, I don't know who their target audience is yet based off of this first episode.
Right.
Maybe it will begin to shake out.
Well, see, I wonder if they know, though. And I don't mean that with disrespect. It's just like, do they really know who that's going to hit? And when they do, like they just had what was the movie that just came out with Risen?
Oh, yeah.
The movie Risen about, Christ rising from the afterworld. And the question is, who's the audience for that? I love these types of movies, quite frankly.
Yeah.
I love the depth of it, and I love the historical reference and the...
Right.
And I think this story, I'm sure the season will evolve because this is going to fascinate. This is one of the greatest stories in the Bible. And David and Goliath and Saul and so I think it's great that they finally decided to tackle that.
Yeah.
And I think that we'll see a lot over these episodes. I expect it's going to evolve really quite nicely.
That's I'm blessing it with the same thing. I'm hoping for the same thing because it's I like the show. I'm glad that it's there. I love tales that teach.
Yeah.
And so from my perspective, I'll be looking to glean what is there to be learned from this. And I like the fact also that we can use, Hollywood can be so entertaining and use that medium to deliver classic messages in a modern day.
Yeah.
And it's got a little bit of everything. It's got bedroom politics, it's got romance, it's got blood and guts and, everything.
So we're going to get to all that, yeah. And they said we could talk about the blowjob that happened, so.
I got to take a drink.
I propose that we play a little drinking game. Every time we say blowjob, you guys have to drink. It doesn't have to be alcohol. Whatever you
flock.
And saving himself from being flogged.
And there's the metaphor again, right? The metaphor of saving the flock and the king saving the flock of people and the entire people.
And the sheep, right? The shepherd and his sheep.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if you guys remember or have ever heard of this, but the tax collector in the Bible is really one of the most hated and unfavored
people.
He still is. Yeah, exactly.
Taxes are good. Pay your taxes. We all
but it's amazing the things that people do and how fearful they are of somebody who, in God's eye, is honestly very wrong and immoral. The tax collector.
Yeah. So they're saying in God's eyes, the tax collector, because what? They're living off of other people.
Yeah, I don't know the full backstory, but I just remember.
When Jesus went in and threw the tables up, and the tax collectors and. Didn't they always? The tax collectors were always Jewish, of the Jewish persuasion, weren't they?
Oh, I don't know, and I don't even want to speculate.
You don't even want to go there.
I don't want to go there.
I mean, everyone back then was Jewish, right?
Well, that's true.
But is anyone?
Everyone wasn't Jewish.
I'm guessing you're not Jewish.
Well, Sammy Davis Jr. is only my third cousin.
Is he your third cousin?
No, he's not.
Oh.
But he was Jewish.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. One of my, I want to get somebody from the Kabbalah Center here to come and give their take on it from that perspective. But I think that they did, because when we look at these stories, like I said before, it starts right out the bat saying the savage Philistine attacks. Well, Saul was going out and committing genocide and killing women and children in the name of God.
Yeah.
So, to jump to one side or to the other, take one religion's perspective, I think,
But I think
for me...
that's again a metaphor to what's happening today, because you can say that who's correct in the Syrian conflict? Is it the one side or
Right.
the other side? And depending on what perspective you're coming in from, you think you're right.
Yeah.
And that's classically been the way throughout history.
Yeah, and it's
He
been
who
said
wins
that-
writes the history books, right?
Oh yes, that was too good. That was too good. Yeah, and they'll write people into history, write people out of history. That's why people like Alexander the Great would have a historian that would travel with him, writing the story of his life in a way that was self-aggrandizing and making him out to be the savior of the world. And that's how all these stories are. That's why they call it history.
Right.
His story, her story.
Right.
It's all just
Exactly.
a story. But these are some of the most cherished stories that have been passed down through time. And you had pointed out, McCall, before we started about the biblical lessons that are in there, the wisdom. And what really struck me, I'll just bring it up right now, was what you had brought up, because Saul was commanded by Samuel, the prophet. Now, the prophet was given power before Saul came onto the scene.
Yeah.
The prophet, then Samuel, was pressured by the people to have a king that was put in place. He put Saul in place as kind of an intermediary.
Right.
But Samuel was supposed to be the voice of God incarnate.
Yeah, exactly.
And so Samuel tells Saul, you have to go kill, you just killed these other Philistine tribes or whatever. You got to now go kill, boy, I'm gonna kill the word.
The
Amalekites.
The Amalekites.
Yeah, Amalekites.
You got to kill them. The women, the children, everything.
Yeah, all of it. Yeah.
And he chose not to kill the king.
Right. Why?
Because he's greedy. Look, this is what I took from it. Because I am religious. Regardless of my complete understanding of the Bible, I still trust and obey the Lord, right? And sometimes, this is what I took it as. Sometimes God will bring you a message, in my opinion, and what I've been taught. And sometimes he'll bring it to you in a different carrier. It might be a person, it might be a donut, whatever. Listen to the voice.
He brought
of
it
God.
to you in a donut. That's what happened.
I had messages in Krispy Kreme. But you have,
See, that's what happened. God brought you messages in donuts, and that's why you put the weight on.
exactly,
Relax.
exactly. But see, Saul was not listening to God, right? And
If there's something to the notion of power and the power struggles that happen, and that at some level, if you don't get that learning that you need to take out the last vestige that may remain, your entire tribe's going to be wiped out, and the entire flock will be wiped out, unless you do. So there might be some higher level learning on that from that perspective. What do you think?
I think there is. The Bible's one of the most amazing books ever. So, I just really believe that there are some lessons that applied then, that apply, honestly, and still happen now.
Right.
But this was not intended to be a Bible study. This is, in my opinion, Hollywood. This is sensationalism. There's too much guts and gore and sex and blood.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still, when you get to the heart of it, for me, it's a story that was created to pass on wisdom to the world that would supposedly give you a better life, find heaven on earth. And it's like, okay, so where's the heaven on earth in this for me? But we also want to know what you think. So tweet us and let us know your thoughts on that front.
Yeah.
Is it really 7:59?
Yeah.
You're kidding me. We've been talking for an hour?
We
No,
started,
came in
we
late.
started about
We-
15 minutes late.
Yeah, we came in a little bit
We're,
late.
well, we're
but-
wrapping up in 5 minutes.
We can ask God.
God. Can you let us know?
God's in the production studio.
No,
that's true.
since we're closing up, overall view, what'd you think?
What did I
First,
think?
First impression.
Overall view, you know what? I liked it enough to get into the story and to follow the story. I loved the little snippet preview that they showed for next week. That was cool because you got to see some of the drama unfolding and stuff. I'll tell you what, I'm into the story of David and Goliath.
Right, yeah.
I'm into seeing some of this stuff laid down that I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to go to school and share it with you guys. How about yourselves?
Absolutely. I enjoyed it. I love anything, along the lines of history and epic, like I said. The one thing that bothered me a little bit, and this is nitpicking, was the women's earrings. I don't know if anyone noticed
What happened
this.
with the earrings?
I'm taking it away from Bibles and values and going to the fashion for just a minute.
People are getting killed.
Yeah,
There's
right.
we worried about
How
the
did you
earrings.
even see an earring?
You know
with all
what?
that blood?
Because in my world of historic biblical times, there were either no earrings or long dangly. These were hoops like I could find at Claire's or something. That sort of that stuck on me at the beginning. And every scene they were showing a woman. Ladies, if you're watching this next week, keep an eye on the earrings. You're going to see what I mean.
I'm going to look out for